This weekend, only at Macy's, it's our lowest prices of spring. How low? Diamond rings, pendants, and earrings, only $399, originally $1,500. Ninja blenders, now $89.99. And $395 men's designer suits, only $99.99. So if you're wondering why you should shop Macy's lowest prices sale, well, the name pretty much says it all. It's our lowest prices for one weekend only. Starts tomorrow at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of True Crime Time for Tuesday, April the 8th, 2025. Freedom Day. Freedom Day. Forever will be Freedom Day for me, and that's the story I'll keep to myself. So I think Cyndi knows. Y'all, this afternoon, if you're listening to this in the morning, 5 o'clock p.m., Walk-On's Restaurant Bistro, Zachary, Louisiana, voted the #1 sports bar and restaurant in the world by ESPN formerly. I will be guest bartending with Kevin Kool-Aid Garrett, and the LSU game's going to be on. I think they're playing Nichols or somebody. Baseball will be on, and I'll be pouring you beers, and every tip that you leave goes to Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency, and Miss Lori Steele will be in the house also representing them. She can get y'all signed up to be a hero. It's great calls. You know, it's our jam. We love them. I will be there tonight, 5 to 9. Pictures, whatever y'all want to do. Not pictures of beer, pictures of us.
Pictures.
Did I say it correctly?
No, but I mean, if
watch this. Siri, how do you say pictures in French?
In French, pictures is image.
image, like an image.
You can take images if you want to, or whatever y'all want to do. And thank you, Walk-Ons, for hosting us. And that's awesome. Y'all also, Saturday, July 19th, get your tickets. It's and all the show notes. Get your tickets. Woody Overton live on stage, Southeastern Student Union Theater. It's built for it. And do the live show. They have alcohol and food sales ahead of time, and then do the live show, or actually during the show also. And never before heard raw and unscripted old cop story, and then VIP event afterwards, and home to Sweet Hilton's. We got a discount room block. I know y'all heard this before, but if you get your tickets while they last. But now I'm done with all that shit.
Well, it's National Crime Victims Week.
And National Crime Victims Week. And it sucks to be a victim of a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, well, any crime is bad.
Any crime is bad.
Crime is bad. Bad people suck.
Makes you think. You always say, there's warning signs on things because some idiot did something like, whatever it is.
Please don't put your hand inside the tiger cage with a 20-ounce ribeye and feed the tiger.
Right.
Because some fucker did that.
But then that's the way our laws are. Because we have to tell people killing is bad. We have to tell people doing drugs is bad. We have to tell people speeding is bad.
When I worked in the prison system, rape was still rape, but now they got an Anti-Rape Prevention Act.
Yeah.
In the prison.
Yeah.
I mean, rape is bad.
Just being a decent human, you have to have a law to tell you to, don't bully.
Hey, let me jump first story. Okay. This goes along. Yesterday, we were talking about sex trafficking, and this story, I don't know. This person was a victim of sex trafficking, Leah Butler, who's 21 years old, but she was definitely a sex worker.
Okay.
Okay. And she is in a lot of trouble. She's in California, San Francisco, and, she went, they call them dates or Johns or whatever, and she went to do one, right? Leah Butler, 21, and she went to see a dude named Hamaza Walapupu, who was 32. And she performed a sexual act on him in San Francisco's Presidio district. And this is way back in 2023. Whatever the sex act was, I don't know. And, she did it. She performed it. And afterwards, Walapupu became angry because Lanaya tells Walapupu that she's transgender.
Oh, heck.
Right? And this is all in court documents. I'm not making this shit up. So Lanaya Butler, told police that Walapupu drove her 20 minutes away from where they met, and she felt like she was taken out of her element. That's her words, out of her element, being so far from where she was picked up. So evidently he picks her up on the street. Mm-hmm. Said, say that I apologize to anyone I hurt, but my life was in danger, and I felt like I had to defend myself in that moment, or it would have been me. Because you know what happened? She performed a sex act, and they're leaving. She discloses that she's transgender, and Walapupu decides he wants a refund.
I mean.
And Butler was having none of the refund game, and she killed him.
Oh. That's not where I thought this was going.
Exactly. But she says it was a self-defense, and that's why she was apologizing. She said, I had to defend myself in that moment, or it would have been me. I don't think I should say sorry to nobody because I don't feel sorry for smoking him.
Oh.
Right? And according to authorities, Butler, after she smoked him, she stole Walapupu's car. And then she tried to clean it and wiping away any fingerprints and DNA. And she spent the rest of the morning scattering the evidence, including the murder weapon.
Wow.
Right? So this genius, has a conversation with her mother, and the conversation is recorded. And Butler said that Walapupu deserved to be killed. And so basically, y'all, it all boils down to she went to trial this week and she was found guilty. And she's being sentenced in June. And she absolutely defended herself. She's found guilty of manslaughter.
Yeah.
But her defense was she killed him because he wanted a refund. She smoked him. Her words.
But she was doing, where was she? Was she doing?
San Francisco.
Okay. So it was illegal what she was doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at some point, evidently.
I wonder what made her confess that she was transgender. If she got out of it.
I'm confused about the whole transgender thing. Does it mean you were a male and you no longer have a penis and so they can't tell? Or did she just give him a blowjob and he never touched it?
That's what
could it be? Let me ask. Y'all, I'm not judging. I don't give a fuck. But if you're transgender or whatever the fuck they call it now, that bothers me not at all. I just need to know because I just try to ignore it because it just kind of smokes my head. Let's see. What does transgender mean?
Transgender means denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex.
Okay. So if you're transgender, does that mean you don't have the same organ you were born with?
Here's what I found.
Frequently asked questions about transgender. Come from around the world, blah, 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 blah. 1.4 million in the United States. And transgender people are people whose gender identity is different. Identity is different from the gender they were at birth. Trans is often used for short for transgender. And so, no, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, you still have your package. Right.
If Leslie's going through a change, she is actually a he.
Yeah,
and
but
so
I'm pretty sure
she got out of that without the other guy.
Pretty sure a crackhead sex worker can't afford to have a penis for me.
Oh, well, oh God, I'm not going to say that.
I heard some bullshit about they were trying to do it in prison somewhere.
Yeah.
And the public was paying for it. If I lived in, look, I don't do politics, but holy fuck, I'm going to do this one. If I lived in a state where a fucking rapist that was, didn't identify as a man or whatever the fuck it's called. And I'm not hating on that part of it, but if you're a rapist or murderer and you don't see yourself as whatever, and you expect the state to pay to have your shit removed, fuck that.
Yeah.
I would riot.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I guess that's enough about transgender. I had no idea we were going there today. That's a Woody thing, not a Cyndi thing. But can you take us somewhere else?
I'm going to take you to an update on the lady with dementia.
Oh, my God.
That her daughter left to go run an errand.
Oh, and the dogs ate her?
And she's in Colorado City. And so, then they found that the daughter had multiple homes with multiple dogs. And
yeah, it was like fucking 50 dogs. Or 20 dogs.
54 dogs.
Yeah, 54 dogs and some
7 birds.
Yeah, birds. I was going to say chickens. I was thinking of witches of the east side. There's witches. The one witch shot the other one when they were having sex, and they had chickens in the house and a pig.
Basically, the autopsies come back, and they didn't know actually, although there was bite marks all over the woman, They didn't know if she had died, and then they, like cats, like you always say, they eat, whatever.
Right.
But it turns out that she died by the dog attacks.
Yeah, so
the daughter is now arrested and being charged. To go back to it, not only her mama had dementia, she was living amongst at least 20 something dogs, right? Because there was, I don't remember how many found at the other home, and very unsanitary conditions. And so the mom was in poor health, and you can imagine the reasons why, on top of the dementia. Now they've charged the daughter, Jessica, with criminal negligence and 54 counts of aggravated animal cruelty as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So she hasn't, that we know of, entered a plea. I mean, again, I'm going to say, like I said last week, if you know you're guilty, why are you going to plead I just save the court some time and money.
They're not going to do that.
I know.
Nobody thinks like you, or no defendants think like you.
I know.
All right. You know what? Fuck it. I'm officially declaring the rest of this show about animal shit. Hold on.
Oh, gosh.
It's time for beast mode. So Sim was just giving updates on the lady with dementia that got mauled to death by the dogs, right? Well, earlier I was making some kind of euphemism. Oh, you said about you see a sign somewhere like don't stand too close to the edge or whatever. I always say that's because some motherfuckers stood too close to the edge and they fell, right? And I'll use the thing about, don't stick your arm in the tiger cage. And well, guess what? But in Tanta, Egypt, that's a city, in case you don't know.
I figured.
Wait, I wasn't done. That's a city that's located between Cairo and Alexandria, Egypt.
Cool.
All right. On Tuesday, April the 1st, they had a white tiger, and he's in his cage doing what white tigers do, right? It's a circus, and he's just hanging out. Here we go.
He's just hanging out.
All right. And they got one of the workers there, brought him out to do a show in front of all the people, good people of Egypt. I'm sure we got a life or two there. We used to.
We actually do. I see it in our analytics.
Well, they bring the tiger out to do his show, and they're doing the things when tiger runs and jumps through the hoop, and tiger does this, and maybe kicks the ball around, whatever the fuck. And then in the middle of the show, tigers
get hungry.
Beast mode.
Yeah.
And there's a video that's since gone viral that shows the tiger mauling the man's arm as the audience screamed in horror. at the circus in the city of Tanta, which I told you is located between Cairo and Alexandria.
Who's the man?
The incident occurred on Tuesday, April 1st, and it involved a white tiger. The circus worker later had his arm amputated above the elbow at the hospital. The victim underwent a 4-hour surgery, and the Tanta Public Prosecutor's Office has since ordered the suspension of circus activities, stating that all local Tanta circus animals would be inspected.
What the fuck is they going to inspect? What are they going to find?
Right?
That they're caged.
Maybe they didn't feed him last night.
Yeah.
You don't feed the elephant. They might grab some peanuts out of your hand in the crowd. But the accident site has been respected. This court of Al-Aham at TV. It added that authorities had also reviewed the CCTV footage and interviewed the victim and eyewitnesses from the audience. Now, Anusukuta, who is the lion and tiger trainer, was there at the time the tiger ripped the motherfucker's arm off and ate it. And said that the tiger attacked him after the man put his arm inside the tiger's enclosure. This is according to the Arab Times. Kuta added that the tiger involved would be removed from performances and sent for retraining in Egypt's capital of Cairo.
Retraining? They're going to keep him?
Absolutely. Tigers are expensive.
I don't care.
Well, listen. The trainer also insisted that no audience members were harmed in the incident, except the fucking images will never get out of their head of having a dude's arm ripped off by a tiger, and that all circus staff has been accounted for. Well, isn't that nice of them? In case he had one in his belly. The yak lady was inside of his belly.
But she wouldn't fit.
Right. But she's a damn good Clark. Damn good cook, Clark. This April, we're celebrating Earth Month. And it's the perfect time to think about the choices we make every day, especially the ones we don't always think about, like where we sleep. If there's one thing I've learned, it's the quality is sustainability. When you invest in something well made, it lasts longer. And that means less waste, fewer replacements, and a bigger impact on protecting our planet. That's why I love AVOCADO Green Mattress. AVOCADO makes certified organic mattresses, crafted with non-toxic materials in their very own zero-waste factory. They've already diverted 85% of their waste from landfills, and they're aiming for 90%. It's not just about comfort. It's about caring for the planet with every choice we make. And here's something I really love. AVOCADO is a proud member of the 1% for the planet. That means at least 1% of every dollar they earn goes straight to environmental nonprofits tackling climate change and protecting ecosystems. So when you choose AVOCADO, you're not just sleeping better, you're giving back. If you're thinking about upgrading your mattress, do it with purpose. Choose one that's better for you and better for the planet. Head to avocadomattress.com today and save up to 10% on certified organic mattresses. Dream of better for you and the planet. Women, have you ever had one of those days where everything just feels off? Like you're stuck in the middle of a mystery and you can't solve it? Your energy's crashing, your mood's swinging like a suspect in an interrogation room, and no matter what you do, nothing adds up. Well, Cyndi has been there, and sometimes the real culprit is hiding in the shadows, is hormonal imbalance. Here's a twist. More than 1,000 hormone disruptors are living rent-free in our world, lurking in our food, our air, even our skincare. And when hormones go haywire, it can feel like you're trapped in your own personal true crime story, especially during premenopause or menopause. But here's the good news. This is the one case you can crack with Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth. All you need to do is take their free 2-minute quiz. You'll answer a few simple questions. Just like that, you'll get a personalized recommendation to help bring your hormones back into balance. No long investigation required. What I love is that Hormone Harmony is made with adaptogens, natural science-backed herbal extracts that help your body adapt to stress and hormonal changes, whether it's PMS, hot flashes, brain fog, or sleepless nights. This product is designed to help you feel like you again. Over 40,000 glowing reviews don't lie, and neither do the results. 86% of women say they started losing weight. 77% say their mood improved. And the biggest win, 100% say they feel like themselves again. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com, code RLRC for 15% off today. The ugliest thing was she's a damn good cook, Clark. The trainer also added that she remained by the injured man's side to monitor his condition in the hospital. And the circus performance was reported immediately. It was halted naturally, immediately following the attack. So Ansakuta and the General Organization for Veterinary Services in Egypt, otherwise known as the GOVS, didn't make a statement about the incident. So, who knows? Did you ever see a video, I know it was before TikTok and all that. They had, the state fair, you could wrestle a bear and shit like that. And then they had like the dancing bears. It was performing acts and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was like some morning show in Oklahoma or something. And the circus had come to town and the trainer brings this big fucking bear in the studio. And the woman reporter is interviewing him. And the fucking bear just
mauled her.
Bear went into fucking beast mode, jumped on her, and fucking almost killed her.
Jeez. And
later on, they suspected that maybe she was on her monthly cycle or something, and he smelled it and it set her off. But beasts are going to be fucking beasts.
Yeah.
And I would only. I really like tigers. Go Tigers.
Yeah, but that story reminded me because it was a white tiger that Siegfried and Roy had, and that it attacked one of them.
Yeah,
but it was also a white tiger.
Yeah, but not throwing shade on white tigers because we don't know if white tigers attack any more people than yellow tigers. But it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
And I got another one for you.
Okay.
This is really kind of weird because let's just get all these fucking stories out of the way. So let's go to Arizona.
Okay.
All right. And in Arizona, a guy named Kevin Rengul, Rengul, on Sunday, March 30th, he was attacked. And you can guess it, by dogs. Can you guess how many dogs?
7.
5. And he was attacked on Sunday, March the 30th, and he died 3 days later. So cops investigated, find the owner of the dogs, and it's another Arizona man. And he's now facing manslaughter charges because his 5 dogs in his care attacked the victim who I told you, died because of the injuries. So just after 6 a.m. on Sunday, March the 30th, deputies responded to a 911 call on West Camino Tierra in Tucson and found a man lying in the road suffering from serious injuries. That's according to the Pima County Sheriff's Office. The man who I told you, Kevin Rengul, 43 years old, was taken to the hospital where he died 3 days later. That's like getting murdered for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Like if you burn somebody to death and it takes, or what happened to Jackie, it takes them a year to fucking die in the hospital. That's like getting murdered every day, even though hopefully you're in the hospital and they can give you some medicine for it. But like, what's her name in Slaughter? My parents starved to death on the couch. We'll get Kevin and Kool-Aid and Garrett to talk about that case. That girl was murdered every day, in my opinion. But this dude was murdered for 3 days, in Woody's opinion. The detectives started the investigation. They learned that the 5 dogs were in the care of Martin Martinez, who was 60 years old, and had escaped from a nearby property and attacked Rengul. And after the attack, Martinez was initially charged with felony endangerment and felony assault by a vicious animal. Then, of course, when Rengul dies, they added the charge of manslaughter.
Yeah.
So, and he's locked up. He's got, he's got a $275,000 bond. We get rapists and shit that don't get bonds that high. But I mean, I understand the guy died because this asshole let his dogs out. But the Pima Animal Care took possession of the dogs who have a history of being aggressive. And here, this is why he's got a $275,000 bond. They had previously attacked another neighbor.
That's what I don't get.
So, yeah, I mean, if your dog kills motherfuckers, you might not want to let your dog out. Right?
I wouldn't want to, I'm sorry, I just wouldn't want to keep a dog. I mean, I say that, but my dog when I was little.
Bitchy.
But I was separating him from.
I lost these 3 fingers between my 2 dogs.
And then I had another dog bite my face, but it wasn't my dog. And she kept that dog.
Well, I don't know. But I'm going to give you one more. And let's go. It's time for worldwide crime. Only because we're across the pond, Tommy. That one was for you. So, a guy named Nicholas Glass, who was 33 years old, he lived in Birmingham, England, until he didn't. And because somebody found him dead outside his home. All right. This was last year. He had sustained several injuries on his arms, feet, and legs. Give you one guess why.
Dog attack?
That's exactly right. Caused by dog bites and claws. And this was according to the BBC, The Standard, and ITV News. So during an inquest, that's a fancy word, Tommy. And we call it investigation. During an inquest at the Birmingham Coroner's Court on Thursday, April 3rd, a detective with the West Midlands Police said officers were called to the Birmingham home on August the 21st, 2024, after, got to have good neighbors, right? We don't have them because we can't see them, but we still got good neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on August 21st, 2024, the neighbors saw the dogs running around the streets.
Okay.
All right. That's what they said. They were running loose. And the officers checked the property and found glass and reasonably well hidden behind a propped up fence panel in the garden of the home. They also found blood on the floor and on the wall of one of the bedrooms, as well as near an open back window. See where this is going?
I do.
Police said the man had volunteered to feed his brother's dogs and was last seen just after 10 p.m. local time on August the 19th, 2024, according to the BBC. They said that it's likely that's because of the last time they saw him. He goes in and feeds his brother's dogs and never comes out until they saw him outside dead. But it said it's believed that he was then likely bitten by one or more of the dogs after he was last seen. They said, I wish I could do an accent. I can only hypothesize on what happened, according to Assistant Coroner Adam Hodson. It is entirely possible he may have been attacked upon his return to the house and that he managed to leave the property via window after he called for help. Maybe so that he's getting attacked in the living room, runs into the bedroom, shuts the door, and it's like, I gotta get the fuck out. I'm about to bleed to death, and gets out the window. That's what it is. And anyway, so he crawls out the window, called for help, and he managed to hide behind the wooden paneling I was telling you about in the yard before
he
died. Isn't that crazy as fuck?
Horrible.
So ITV News says that Glass sustained a major injury to his left arm, which exposed bone.
Oh.
Exposed bone with teeth marks on it.
The bone had teeth.
The bone had teeth. Now, like, I've seen exposed bone, and yes, it really is white when the blood's not on it. But I had never seen teeth marks on a bone.
I bet your fingers have teeth marks on the bone.
Oh, I don't know. I had to cut him under and open and see. They said he also got bruises, grazes, and puncture wounds and tears caused by canine teeth and claws. In the autopsy shows that Glas's cause of death was trauma caused by dog bites. Court report also said that no foul play was involved.
Yeah.
So it may not be a worldwide crime, but it's a crime. The motherfucker got killed by a dog.
Yeah, no, that's
right?
kind of crimey. They're murderers.
Well, the detectives go in and do what detectives do. They seize, well, I'm sure they didn't do it themselves, but they had the 4 dogs seized as part of the investigation. And I am not dog shaming. I'm just telling you what the breeds are. It's 2 XL bullies, which is a breed that's been banned in England and Wales, and a Staffordshire Bull Terrier and a Bulldog. And the coroner says that they weren't able to determine which of the dogs caused the injuries to Glass. They said there was no certificate of exemption for the 2 XL bully dogs that were seized by the police.
Yeah, so they weren't given permission. He
couldn't own the white tiger, right? If you own a tiger, you got to have a permit. Right. Evidently in England, you own an XL bully, you got to have a permit. He didn't have it. So there was a crime in that. But people in England and Wales who want to own an XL bully dog require a certificate of exemption according to the country's laws. And the ban on the breed has been in place since February 1 of 2024. So just over a year. I said, in my opinion, it appears to be a terrible tragedy, Hodgson said during the inquest. Glass the victim, was a caring brother and a son who simply offered to look after his brother's dogs and lost his life as a terrible consequence. Who do you blame in that one?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
You got to blame that. You know what?
That's
really the dog's fault. I mean, and I'm sure they outlawed those dogs for a reason, good, bad, or indifferent. But maybe he did. You know what? Maybe I'm not victim shaming. Maybe Glaston was supposed to feed them for like 5 days in a row, and he didn't feed them first 4.
I don't know. I can just speak from my experience. I'm lucky. Like when I literally was going over to I was the maid of honor at my friend's wedding, and I had my hands full of stuff that we were going over to get like ready for her wedding. And I leaned over, and the dog lunged at me and, growled and lunged, and his right fang got my cheek. And he immediately hightailed it to his kennel and kittled himself up. He realized that he had done something wrong, but he could have eaten me. I mean, had he not, and he chose to, he would have. Because at that point, once he got my cheek, I was incapacitated. I was scared to death, going to.
But everybody in the world wants to know about that story is, did you still stand in the wedding?
I did.
Was it the same day of the wedding?
No.
Oh, I figure you're carrying shit. Maybe you're getting dressed up in your ugly bridesmaid's dresses.
No. No, my bridesmaid's dress wasn't ugly, and we were getting.
I've never seen a bridesmaid's dress that wasn't ugly.
That one wasn't.
Isn't that like the thing? The bride wants her dress to be, the bride wants her dress to be perfect, and everybody else is to be ugly, so she doesn't get topped. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for that, huh?
You probably will, because that.
Just teasing you. I've never looked at a bridesmaid's dress. I have seen some fucking.
You've taken a few ones off.
You were never a bridesmaid since we've been together.
No.
All right.
I didn't say you took any of mine off.
All right. I'm not jumping into that bait trap. So you know what?
Okay, girls, today I'm giving you the inside scoop on my favorite place to save this spring. At Ross, it's the spot to get everything you need at prices you'll love. Because when you find brand names for 20 to 60% off other retailers' prices, you'll definitely be finding your next favorite outfit and more. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on these deals on your favorite dresses and tops. And at this price, you might as well throw in a new purse or pair of shoes too. But Ross isn't just about savings. They're about giving back. This year, Ross and their customers raised over $4.1 million to support support the Boys and Girls Clubs and local youth programs to help kids and families thrive. Seriously, just visit your local Ross and see for yourself, because I know you like to keep your closet full and your costs low. So what are you waiting for? Say yes for less at your local Ross.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
It's true crime time for Freedom Day. I'm going to request that you do one more story, because I got to go bartend. For Lopa tonight, me and Kevin Kool-Aid Garrett. If you don't know who we are, we're the ones with the purple and gold shirts on them. Mine's going to have hashtag Justice for Haley on the back. Kevin's will have, Kool-Aid's will have Kool-Aid on the back.
I thought we had deemed this a beast mode episode.
But you know what? Here you get to enjoy all of Woody Overton, because I changed my mind.
Okay.
Throw him a story.
Well, I guess this kind of can go with beast mode. So there's these two boys in Florida. And they are in Melbourne, Florida. Okay?
Melbourne, Florida.
And when I read this, I was like, how lucky am I?
How lucky is she?
Stop. So there's these two boys that go, walking around the neighborhood. They decide to go fishing.
Hey.
And
good for them.
They go into this woman's backyard. Yeah. She has a pond. Well, it reminded me of when I was little. I grew up in Baton Rouge, right off of the Jefferson Highway. Mm-hmm. And there is a house still there to this day that has a pond. Mm-hmm. And it has, inside the pond is an island. Mm-hmm. And there's a little bridge to connect it.
A lot of those in the country. I know this in the city, but.
Yeah. And they also had a trampoline. Mm-hmm. And where I lived was just a hop, skip, and a jump. Literally, I could climb a fence and get over, and I could go hang out at their pond, go across their little thing, go jumping on their trampoline, and no one was ever home to get on to me. And I wasn't supposed to be there anyway, but whatever. So I always was scared someone was going to show up and get out of here. What are you doing here? Call your mama, whatever. Well, that's what happened to these boys. Okay. Except this woman comes out with a gun.
They're fishing in her yard.
Yes.
She comes out with a gun. And she holds them at gunpoint. She makes them get on the ground. Okay. That's going a little too far.
And
because they're armed with fishing poles.
Do what?
How old were they?
They are.
I mean, if they're 19, it's different.
13 and 15 years old, and she's 59.
15-year-old, questionable. I don't know with kids nowadays.
Well, yeah. So
she said, get on the ground, motherfucker. She puts them on the ground at gunpoint because they're fishing in her pond. She must really like her fish. And
so authorities responded to a call on Friday at 9 p.m. Maybe it's because it was at night. I don't know. Reporting a disturbance. This woman was calling in to report a disturbance on her property. Her name is Donna Marie Elkins. And so she said that there's a 13-year-old. Well, she didn't know their ages. She said there's two boys here fishing on my property. And she said she told the dispatcher I petrified them. And she stopped them and they were laying on the ground. The woman is holding them, like I said, at gunpoint, but it's a pellet gun. Not that, any kind of gun. The boys don't know it's a pellet gun.
Fuck, a pellet gun can kill you too.
Well, so for 5 minutes, she holds him at gunpoint. The husband comes outside and takes the gun away from her.
It's like, Mama,
calm down. But the boys stay on the ground. Yeah. They refuse to they're scared to death. Yeah. So then once the police show up, then the boys were ordered not to move by her. So even once the gun was gone, they didn't. But once the police show up, they said that they feared for their lives. And
I guess they did.
Yeah. That's basically that.
Do you know what she just did, it's like me getting named the Cajun Queen. She just got nominated, and from this point on in that neighborhood in Melbourne, Florida, she will forever be known as a crazy motherfucker.
Well, and she was arrested and booked. They arrested her for...
They arrested her. Well, you know what? Probably for detaining them and shit. I mean, you can do it to a certain extent. If you think you got to protect your property or whatever they're doing, whatever, but...
Well, it was 9:00 at night and she was a little bit off. The boys were actually 30 feet away from her property. So I guess since they weren't on her property, she had no right to do that.
Since they didn't pose a fucking threat to her. I mean, it's like if a guy comes walking across our yard here, I'll run out there and put a shotgun to his head, make him get on the ground till the cops get there. He's got no weapons, hadn't done anything. He's got a fucking fishing pole. Now look, we deal with it all the time. And I'm going to say Swim did some of his best illegal pond fishing at night, on different people's properties. When he was a kid coming up, he knew where the big fish were and couldn't go there. So Swim would go do that. Being, landowners and managers of property now that have lakes and ponds and shit on it are kind of famous, and everybody wants to go fish, and trespassers and da-da-da-da. Well, we have big signs that say trespassers will be met with armed response, right? And I think that you could reasonably detain someone if they pose some kind of threat, or if they were going to run, or whatever. Like, if I catch a motherfucker trespassing, it's hunting season, they're going to be armed. I catch somebody fishing on the pond, I'm not going to roll up and pump the shotgun and fire a shot or say, get on the ground, motherfuckers. I'm going to say, you stay right there.
Yeah.
And I'm calling the cops, and I'll let the cops come handle it. Right. Now, someone did that to Swim, when they say, stand right there, I'm calling the cops, Swim's going to fucking haul ass.
Yes.
And then maybe it escalates. I don't know. That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Melbourne, Florida.
But they weren't even on her property. I mean, even if they were, the 13 and 15-year-old, you'd say, get off my property, go. Leave.
Let me
You're
ask
not
you a
allowed
question.
here.
Let me ask you a question. This property here, or Norwood, it doesn't matter, briefly. You walk outside at 9:00 at night. There's a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old, and they don't build them like when we came up.
Yeah.
They're look at our son. He's almost 15. He's fucking huge. And I think it's all the steroids they put in the chicken and shit now, and the meat in the stores. I seriously, I do. Okay. I think they've been eating that for generations now, and it makes them grow bigger. I'm not even going to say the rest of what I was going to say, but you walk out, you're alone, or maybe I'm inside watching TV or whatever, and you see two strangers in your yard.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Call you.
Okay. What if I wasn't available? What if you had no cell phone service and I wasn't available? What are you going to do? I
don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm not going to, I guess I'll go get a pellet gun and make them sit on the ground. I mean, this is our property. There's no question that this is our property.
Yeah. Well, it's dark. Maybe maybe they ran 30 feet over.
Well, they hit the ground. So, I mean, I get your point. What am I going to do? That's a very valid question. Because what would I do? What
would you do?
I would call 911.
I said you had no cell service.
I would scream, 911.
You raise the window, run inside, lock the door, raise the window, scream your ass off. 911.
I'd go wave at that
smoke
drone.
Signals.
That
smoke
drone
signals.
That hangs out behind our house. I'll go wave it down.
I'm pretty sure the drone, I guess it has to have contact with the center. If you don't have cell service, then the drone doesn't have cell service.
Well, then there wouldn't be a drone there, so.
I don't know. All right.
Well, this is a good question. What should I do?
I would go back inside and lock the door. And I would say, get the fuck off my property. I'm armed. I'm going to get my gun, go inside and lock the door. Okay. And if you have access, call 911.
Okay.
If you don't, get a gun, load it in case they come try to get in. I mean, they could have been rapists walking around with fishing poles as a guys.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Well, it hasn't happened.
Only they know. The 15 and 13-year-old know their true intentions. Were they just trespassing for fish? All right, we get out of here. That's it. No more stories for y'all today. Catch you tonight bartending. Let's raise some money for Lopa. Love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cyndi Overton.
I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.